So the news is in. Just a couple days ago, the Biden administration announced their tax plan moving forward. And some of these changes are meant to take into effect as early as January 2022, so just a few months away. So for you to understand what changes are coming up can really put you that much farther ahead so that you're not blindsided, right? Just next year, if you try to do things that you did in 2021, they may not be allowed, especially for those that have higher than average incomes. This is certainly going to affect you. And even for those lower income families, it is certainly going to affect you to some degree. If not directly, definitely indirectly, okay? So we're going to really fly through this. There's a ton of points here, but I don't want to bore you with the details. I want to tell you the most important things that are going to affect you as a federal employee most likely, okay? The first big change that this tax plan is going to implement is it's going to raise the highest tax rate. So if you're in some of the highest tax rates, you make high incomes, let's say 400,000 plus, you're certainly 100% going to be affected very, very directly. You're going to pay higher taxes, no questions asked. And that is for ordinary income and capital gains rates, okay? And let me say this tax plan is not set in stone yet. There are probably going to be some tweaks, but this is probably going to be a really good start and foundation to what the actual changes are going to be that are going to be implemented here very, very soon. Okay, so that's the first one. Tax rates for the people that make higher incomes are simply going up, okay? Now, for those that have heard of a backdoor Roth IRA before, this tax plan is looking to completely take that option away. It is going to make that illegal to do any backdoor Roth IRAs. I'm not going to dig into what a backdoor Roth IRA is. I have plenty of videos on that. But long story short, that option is going to be taken away. And for those that it affects, the people that it affects the most are those that cannot directly put money into a Roth IRA because their income is just a little too high, right? And so before they're able to put money into a traditional IRA, then move it over to a Roth, that is no longer allowed, right? And this would also disqualify mega backdoor Roth IRAs with a 401k plan, right? And I haven't talked about that much, but you could Google it, a mega backdoor Roth. That would go away too. So some of these loopholes, and some not necessarily loopholes, but these little pieces in the tax law, they're trying to close it up, especially for higher earners. They're really trying to close it up to make these tools like a Roth IRA less accessible for those that make higher than average earnings. Now, here is one big change that they are making that is going to affect you no matter how much money you make, and that is they are planning to raise corporate tax rates, okay? Meaning corporations are going to be paying higher taxes, assuming this change actually comes through and becomes law. Now, you may be saying, hey, how the heck does that affect me? I work for the federal government, it's not a corporation. How does that affect me at all, right? Well, let me tell you, it affects you almost directly, okay? And this is how it works. You invest in the TSP, and what investment options are there in the TSP? There's the different funds, right? There's the G fund, F fund, there's the C fund, S fund, and I fund. Well, guess what? The C fund and S fund, which are some of the most popular funds that do the best over a long period of time, at least they have up to this point, those funds are full of corporations. Those companies that you are investing in are corporations, they're companies, right? And if they are paying higher taxes, they're gonna be earning less money, right? They're gonna be able to grow not as fast, and they're gonna be earning just less money in general. That's how it works, right? Corporations are just people, right? They're just people, they're employees and owners, all these things. And if you invest in the TSP, in the C and S funds, then you're an owner of these corporations. That's how stock market works, right? If you own a stock, you're a partial owner of these corporations. So when they pay taxes, guess what? Your TSP, assuming you're invested in some in the C and S funds, is most likely gonna not grow as fast. At least we don't know what kind of timeline we're talking about, but it's simply not gonna grow as fast as it would with lower taxes. That's just how economics works, right? For example, let's take it to a lower scale. If you owned a small company, just a small company where you're the only owner, and the government raised taxes for your small company, then guess what? You as the owner are gonna make less money. That's just how it works. And if you just blow this up to a large scale of a publicly traded company like Apple and all these things that are in the C fund, for example, then you as an owner are simply just going to earn less money. Your TSP is not going to grow as fast over time. That's how it works, right? So whether you're a higher earner and you directly are going to pay more in taxes, or corporations are going to pay more, and so that your retirement accounts don't grow as fast, it's going to affect you to some degree, right? And I'm not trying to be political here of what's right and wrong. I just want to tell you what's coming down the pipe, right? What changes are probably going to be implemented and some of the things that are going to affect you. Now, as things change, I'm sure things will change before this is fully implemented. I'm going to be right here telling you exactly how these changes are going to affect you as federal employees, and it will become a lot more clear moving forward. So I hope that was helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.